Good evening. Welcome to Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. In the news today, yesterday, AG Bill Barr went before the House Judiciary Committee to be questioned in reference to Operation Legend and the events and the federal officers going into Portland, Oregon. And I must tell you, I haven't seen such foolishness in years. I have not seen such foolishness in years. The things that were occurring there. AG Bill Barr, he went into the House of Representatives before the Judiciary Committee. This was so, I know poor guy, I feel really bad about him, but it was so upsetting to see this situation in the House of Representatives in there under Jerry Nadler. A joke, I call him, because it's very clear to me, and people talk about racism, but to me, judging by the Democratic Party and their history, I would say, judging by what I've seen with him, I'm not even going to say. But I'm telling you this, and I'm coming out against this testimony that came against Mr. Barr in relations to his questioning by one person in particular, because that person is here in the Houston area, Miss Sheila Jackson Lee. I am sick and tired of the Democratic Party still pretending they had nothing to do with the quote-unquote systemic racism in this country. I understand, but it is not the police departments displaying it. It is not the Democratic Party. It is, of course, the Democratic Party itself, and it's always been the Democratic Party. Ms. Sheila Jackson Lee attacked AG Bill Barr like him, President Trump, and the police are responsible for everything that's going on in this country. And to me, it's pure foolishness. And they're keeping on with the same narrative. Sheila Jackson Lee, even here in the Houston area, and for all the time that I've known her over the years, and all that, not known her, but heard of her, and been at events where she's been at, Sheila Jackson Lee, to me, has always been a liberal media hack. Every time she gets an opportunity, she wants to jump in front of a camera to have somebody look at that face of hers. Woo! Anyway, the Democratic Party, even after Republican Colbert history lesson, is still acting like they have done nothing wrong, and still trying to point the finger at President Trump and the Republican Party. The problem in the Democratic Party, that is, who need to change their name, by the way, according to the House rules set by Nancy Pelosi, Ms. Jackson Lee, the problem is with the Democrat slavery supporting party. Governors and mayors, is that the problem also with the governors and mayors is that they are protecting themselves when they should be protecting their citizens. And when I say protecting themselves, I'm not talking about their individual selves. I'm talking about people like Antifa and Black Lives Matter, which is a global Marxist organization. They have not denied it. It is in their charter. Their leaders are Marxists, and they call themselves trained Marxists. And if you don't know what that is, they're socialists. They're socialists, and they're also, their main objective and what they want to accomplish is they want to destroy the prison system. So if you get them out here and they get in power or whatever, they're going to take away the jail. So the criminals will be on the street, and you will definitely have to arm yourself and defend yourself, because they don't want nobody in jail. Denying that their criminal element actually does exist, and they need to be in prison if they commit a crime. And I don't care what color, what race, what creed they are. If they're criminal, they're criminal. The Democratic Party questions Bill Barr, but we're not allowing him to answer any questions. They keep cutting him off with saying they were reclaiming their time. This is pure foolishness. Reclaiming your time. You're the one that's asking the questions. And you're not allowing the question to be answered by the person you're questioning. This is purely narcissistic and anarchist behavior. I believe those who live in the areas where the Democrat governors, the Democrat mayors are, you got to rise up and make sure you vote those people out of office. What has the Democratic Party done about all these issues over the years? The answer is nothing. They have controlled the House several times and the Senate, yet here we are again. If they were so much into change, into changing things, why do we keep repeating this same narrative over and over again? Why do we keep coming back to this same situation? Why is it, people? Why do we keep coming back to it? Let me tell you why we keep coming back to it. Because as I said in an earlier program, and as Mr. Colbert said, they were behind it in the beginning. Here we have Mr. Biden. This is a statement made by Mr. Biden in 1977 involving integrating schools with black students. He says he don't want to turn the schools into a jungle, a racial jungle. This is his quote. I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle, a racial jungle. That's Joe Biden, the one that they are running for president. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the Democratic Party have been hijacked by anarchists. I'm not saying they always were that way, but they have been hijacked by anarchists and narcissists. You know, we have this situation that's going on right now with the government and regarding this mess with the things that are going on in Portland, Oregon, and we have a situation there now where the Democratic governor, is it mayor or governor? I think it was a mayor there in that city. Let me see here what it says here. It says Oakland's anti-Trump mayor Libby Schaaf is getting worried. She's getting worried. She thinks the agitators who are disrupting otherwise peaceful protests are causing more harm than good. Welcome to our world, Mayor. Because we said that in the beginning. We said that yes, there were peaceful protesters. There were also people like Antifa and Black Lives Matter that were disrupting the peaceful protesters, forcing them, handing out violent materials to disrupt and destroy federal property. They even started a fire at the Oakland courthouse. So, you know, we keep going on, and they're staying around, and they're starting a war in this country. Well, I got news for you. The war is only beginning. If we do not get these people under control in these particular areas, guess what? You're going to be coming out in your streets, and you're going to be hearing gunfire and things like that, just like we're in a war zone. Not to say you haven't heard it in some of these Democratic governed states and cities. But you're going to see it even more as the time goes on. Because I'm going to tell you, we have a president, and he's getting ready to come back into the presidency again. There's a movement going on right now, aside from Black Lives Matter. It's called the Walkaway Movement. I want to give the Walkaway Movement credit because they're walking away from the liberalist Democratic Party, the anarchists, the narcissists, those people who are saying that they're for our country, but they're destroying our country through their policies and through all the things that they're heaping on to our people here in America. Well, we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to come back at you in a moment here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Welcome back. You're watching Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. I am really discouraged over the suppression of the mainstream media of the doctors, even the doctor that came from the Houston area that was explaining that there is a cure for COVID-19. They're blocking her. They want to stop her from talking. And when you post videos about her discussion when she went to Washington, D.C., they block it. because they want to keep you in bondage. The Democratic Party has always wanted the blacks in bondage, and now they're seeking to put everybody in bondage. They want to keep you on lockdown because they want to keep the cities and be able to control them themselves. Look at President Obama. When everybody was lined up and locked down in their house, whatever, he was out. They accused President Trump of playing golf. He was out playing golf somewhere, hanging out with his buddies. And when we saw the videos and pictures of that, there was no social distancing going on, nor was he wearing a mask. So why not? Why wasn't President Obama wearing a mask? Matter of fact, I'll venture to say I haven't seen him wear a mask yet. Anywhere I've seen him, I haven't seen him wear one. But yet I hear the Democratic mayors and governors requesting and forcing us to wear masks. A gentleman was arrested recently in his own business, I think it was in Oakland, because he didn't adhere to the mask wearing law. Or it shouldn't be a law, people, by the way. It violates our constitutional right. We have the right to free speech. We have the right to bear arms. And we have the right to wear stuff when we want to or not to wear it. There should not be any laws placed on human beings in this country to do anything that they do not desire to do, else we are becoming a communist country. Mayor Libby Schaaf told Oakland residents in a statement Sunday to remain vigilant of agitators who seek to use protests as cover for militant activities. Warning she delivered after vandals set multiple fires in downtown area, including one of the Alameda Superior Courthouse. She also invoked President Donald Trump. In other words, she also used him to make a statement about it. She wants the people not to say too much because she's afraid that President Trump will start to send more federal troops in. The Democrats are finding themselves between a rock and a hard place, it states in this article, while many like Jerry Nadler and fake news media are trying to call these mostly peaceful protests and claim that the violence is a myth. I don't know what the heck got into Jerry Nadler. He had to be out of his freaking mind. Violence is a myth. Yeah, sure it's a myth, Jerry. Wait till they start coming to your house, because they really don't care. They want a socialist government system, a Marxist government. So Democrats, look out, they're coming after you. They want you to understand that they are anarchists and they are Marxists. So they're starting to come after the Democratic mayors, and they will be coming after the Democratic governors. These people want socialism and Marxism. They don't want democracy in any way, shape, or form. Definitely not capitalistic. And I gather you to look at these people. This organization, Black Lives Matter, is led by the LGBT, and lesbians at that are leading the cause of this Black Lives Matter. I don't know about you, but when I grew up, we didn't like them too much then. We talked bad about them then. I'm not saying that it was good to speak bad about people, but still, just the same. The LGBT is behind Black Lives Matter. And blacks keep jumping up to it like, oh, everything's okay. They don't care about you either. I'm going to just read a little bit through this op-ed that was put out by Wayne Dupree. And a lot of you know Mr. Dupree. He is a black Republican, African-American Republican. He says, Wayne Dupree said, Dems think they'll reign in all the anarchy of Biden if Biden wins. They are fools. This is the words of Mr. Dupree. The Democratic Party is simply the most destructive and deliberately so forced, the sole force in the U.S. Today. There's no avoiding the fact. This is a statement made on July 25th. The Marxist elite in the United States uses psychologist abuse to manipulate the usual idiots into violence. The truth is, the useful idiots are doing the dirty work that the Marxist elite refuse to do themselves. It's always been that way. Hitler didn't do his own work. He got other people to do it. These elites behave like malignant narcissists with no empathy. They'll dox, cancel, or get you fired without a second thought. Joseph Stalin and the Ukrainians come to mind. Also, look at how the leftist elite uses psychologically manipulated techniques to demoralize conservatives. The elite battle in their own psychological level, and it's our battle to fight by not accepting their lies. They intend to gaslight us until we believe we are crazy ones. This is from Wayne Dupree. We're not the crazy ones. The Democratic Party is the crazy ones, or the Democrat Slavery Party. They need to change that name. I'm calling on Nancy Pelosi and the people in the House of Representatives to force a change in the name Democrat. Go ahead, call yourself the Socialist Party or call yourself the Progressive Party. But Democratic Party hurts African Americans because you are the ones that came up with all the laws that try to keep the African Americans in prison and keep us under slavery rule. The Democratic political leaders have constantly failed voters, and their time is up. Don't believe me? The fighting in Seattle and Portland with rioters versus the feds, it appears they think they have started their version of the Civil War, one they claim are itching to get going. Will Trump win the White House? I believe so. They have flashed laser lights into eyes of agents, possibly causing permanent blindness. They have locked agents into federal buildings and barricaded those doors. They lit the place on fire. The media continues to clarify, show their bias and their reporting point, encouraging rioters, saying that they're peaceful protesters. They're not peaceful protesters. They're violent idiots that this crazy Democratic Party has taken on and just allowed them to do whatever they want. Well, we're going to take a short break right now, and we're going to be right back at you in a moment. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Welcome back. There was an attempt by a gentleman by the name of Don Lemon. He took a cognitive test live on TV, and to own Trump, but screws it up. He takes a thing to try to prove something to President Trump. What a fool. And he proves that he can't even handle a cognitive test. And our president passed it with flying colors. America is the only nation in the history of the world where the citizen has customized owner-operated contract for life. Thank you, founding fathers. Every once in a while, her enemies, agents of her enemies, try to pull a fast one and turn out paradise into tyrannical hell. They dream about technology, some incredible psychological warfare, or very effective weapons being deployed in this election, and they appear to be scoring points. The great Ronald Reagan won 2 historic landslides by telling Americans to be proud to be Americans. We need to be proud to be Americans today and stop allowing this foolishness that is going on in these Democrat-run states and cities to deter us from carrying the love of our country forward through the governing of our country by a man who is clearly out for the good of our country, President Donald J. Trump. America is the only nation in the history of the world where the citizens had this foolishness going on. And he goes on to say, I feel that they will not prevail. But the first testimony before the House of Representatives, I said today, was Mr. Barr. But it was a sad testimony to the behavior of the Democratic Party, the party of slavery. They need to change their name. Democratic Party, change your name. It irritates me when I see African American people standing up within this party, pushing it, like even as they did with this thing about John Lewis. I know they're going to get on President Trump because he didn't attend the funeral. He said Mike Pence. But I don't know about you, but who would actually go to a funeral if the funeral was of somebody who is their enemy? Would you go to the funeral of an enemy, somebody who clearly pointed out hatred toward you as an administrator, as a president of a country? Let's be real, people. I'm a human being, you're a human being. Why do I want to be in a room with a bunch of people that hate my guts and who don't want to see me prosper? No, I wouldn't have gone either. But I applaud Mr. Pence for taking the opportunity and going and go. Of course, this is one time President or former Vice President Biden stepped out, and I believe former President Obama was there as well, to support the Democratic Slavery Party. You know, we need to do something about this. Democratic Party, if you don't want it to change, then don't change it. But put it in the people's hands. See what the people want to do. See what they say. Well, I'm going to take another short break right now, and we'll be right back at you in a moment, doing a Black conservative voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and close with a few statements from this other article that I read. It's about Libby, Mayor Libby of, was it Oakland, I believe, or Portland? I don't know what it was, city. One of those crazy places, Oakland. Libby's tactic is to pretend that nightly violence is coming from a small group of ragtag militants and urging them to stop what they are doing because they're helping Trump with their violent action. Yeah, they're not helping Trump. They're just pointing out where the Democratic Party really is. And these people are not ragtag. They're supported by some of the largest companies here in America, because you got people who are sitting on the boards of Disney and some other major companies. I won't mention all of them, but I do know that Disney donated $33 million to the Marxist organization Black Lives Matter. So that tells you where this country is going. Jerry Nadler says Antifa violence isn't real. They suggest it's just a rumor. Give me a freaking break. The people came at themselves with their own signs saying that they were Antifa. And it's a myth. What Libby either doesn't know or won't admit is that what's happening right now is liberal-run cities across the U.S. is full-blown communist insurrection. And neither she nor anyone has any control over these radical anti-American communists. Their agenda, which is the complete annihilation of the United States, has little to do with Trump or Biden and everything to do with overthrowing our government and its systems. You can't reason with these radicals. It looks like trying to ask a rabid Wolverine to stop biting and just be nice. Let me tell you something. I don't know, I'm not a person taking up arms or whatever, but I am telling you, I am predicting, and you are going to see it happen right here on the shores of America. We have ourselves the makings of another civil war. I don't want to say it, but unfortunately, it is true. But I will tell you this, we have a president that has the guts and the wherewithal in a country who is tired of putting up with this foolishness. I want to thank you for being with me tonight here on Black Conservative Voice, here on the CTM News Network. If you'd like to sponsor this program, the information is on the screen. Please contact us. Our sponsorship is very reasonable. And if you're running for office come November, it's a wonderful place to advertise. I have quite a few viewers that watch this program. And we're getting up further up to closer to 50,000 people do watch this program. So if you want to get elected or re-elected to Congress and you're a conservative, Republican, please advertise this program. Support what we are doing here at CTM News, the voice of truth. Once again, I'd like to thank you for joining us here at the Black Conservative Voice. I'm David Colbert, here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. And I want to say to you, as I always say, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Good night.